The Green Bay Packers may have found a solution to some of their offensive woes. Before you start saying, dude, I don't know what you're talking about, the defense is the bigger issue than the offense. Well, you're correct in saying that. I'm going to address the offense today. We're going to talk about the defense tomorrow. If you take a look over the last couple of games, 2 games ago, we played the Minnesota Vikings and we found ourselves trailing 28-7 at half at Lambeau Field. Inexcusable. Matt LaFleur is not the problem in his play calling abilities. I think the bigger problem is up front on our offensive line. If you take a look at last week, we played against the Rams. This is going into this game. The Rams had one of the worst run defenses and secondaries, and the Packers were held in check. Jordan Love only completed 15 of his 26 attempts for 224 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, though, 19 carries for 73 yards at a 3.8 average. His average is more like 5 yards a carry, which meant that if that were the case, then that number should have been up to about 95 yards for Josh Jacobs. So the Packers need to get some stuff cleaned up. Well, how do they do that? I think it's as easy as Jordan Morgan. We went and spent a first round draft pick on this dude. And yes, he's got his injury issues. Hopefully, this shoulder stuff is behind him. He was supposed to be coming back against the Rams. They decided to continue resting him and getting that shoulder at 100%. So Jordan Morgan could be the solution to some of their offensive woes because everything happens up front. Jordan Love gets more time up front if everybody's blocking right, and then holes get opened up wide for Josh Jacobs or Emmanuel Wilson to run through. So that is an issue for me on the offense. But the Packers overall, when you take a look at offensively, the Packers are only, they're fourth ranked in the NFL, which is good at 392.6 yards a game with 14 touchdowns, which is better than the Lions, who are at number 3 there at 397 yards a game, and then the Niners, who are at 407 yards a game. The Packers have 2 more touchdowns than them and 1 more than the Lions. So the Packers not finding the end zone hasn't been an issue. It's been more a result of what's happening up front and them getting penalized. So you take a look at some of their offensive linemen and what their PFF grade. Now, you might be saying, okay, what goes into the PFF grade? Well, good question. It's everything. Total pressures allowed, hits allowed, sacks allowed, penalties, run block snaps, pass block snaps, offensive snaps. So everything overall encompassed into that PFF grade. Rasheed Walker had a slow start to the season, but he's starting to clean things up at 69.9 overall PFF score. He's got 5 penalties. That, again, came a little bit earlier on. The bulk of that number did in the season. He's allowed 1 sack. Elton Jenkins has of course, this dude is good. 335 snaps. He's got 3 penalties, no sacks allowed. An overall PFF grade score of a 65.8. Josh Myers, of course, the low man on the totem pole, sub 50% PFF grade at 49.6 on 333 snaps. He's got 3 penalties, but he hasn't allowed a sack. Again, Jacob Monk is going to be the starter there next year. He's going to be taking over Josh Myers. I'm pretty confident in that. Sean Ryan, I do like this dude. He has allowed the most sacks overall on of the Packers offensive line. He has 2 sacks allowed on 290 snaps. Overall PFF grade of 64. No penalties, which is good, but he has allowed the 2 sacks. So again, you get a fresh body in there like Jordan Morgan, and I think these 2 guys, this is going to get the offensive line woes cleaned up, in my opinion. Zach Tom, of course, looking super good. 335 snaps, 3 penalties, 1 sack allowed, but an overall PFF score of nearly 80. This dude is one of the better tackles in the league. So leave your comments. Let me know what you think. But I think, honestly, and you take a look at Jordan Morgan, he's only played 48 snaps. He's got 57.6, no penalties, no sacks. But again, Jordan Morgan could be the quick and easy solution for the Packers' woes because, again, everything happens up front. Jordan Love is going to get more time. Holes are going to be opened when you can get fresh bodies out there. Jordan Morgan is that dude that the Packers seem to be very high on, hence why we went and spent a first-round draft pick to go and get this dude. Leave your comments. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, go Pack Go.